Congratulations to all three of you. My God, what fantastic performances. And I just throwing it out there, but who was the most Watchmen aware of this group here?
Ooh, I don't know. Yeah, I mean,
None
we
of
had
us
both.
were, that aware we knew of it, but you might be the most because of your friend.
Yeah.
That's true. I had one of my best friends who was just a diehard fan, a diehard comic fan specifically, and so I knew from him as soon as I got the script, because I had heard of it. I think I had seen the logo, wondered what that blood splotch was, and you know, I was certainly curious about it. But he led me the way and told me how much it meant to the comic book world.
Right, and then speaking of that, you guys get your
Right.
roles, you're going to be in this, and then, yes, this has just a little bit of a fan base connected to it. My God, was it like, what kind of pressure is that on you guys?
Yeah, it was, go ahead.
No, I think that the pressure is obviously when you first go to Comic-Con and you kind of see the immense fan base, you do get it's a bit of that added pressure where you go, okay, we've really got to do this right for these guys. But ultimately, we all became fans I mean, I don't think you can read Watchmen and not become a fan. So all that pressure sort of was our own pressure that we put on ourselves once we started filming, and kind of forgot about the outside world and just really delved into it, and you know, just hoped that we were getting everything in there that we possibly could, you know, making it as dense as possible. But now I guess the pressure's on again, now that everyone's about to see it.
Yeah, I had a little taste of it at Comic-Con with Sin City, because that was also a graphic novel that people were, you know, knew really well and had a strong feeling about, and also had filmmakers who really wanted to make it very true to it. I mean, I definitely think this is, you know, even to a larger extent. But that's the thing, is as an artist, when you're generally your own harshest critic, you know, you're sort of, I think individually, we all just wanted to do justice to our characters and to the world that we were creating. So we were sort of in that mode of creating it. And like Malin said, now that it's sort of, we're giving it to the world, we're giving it back to the world. It is an interesting feeling.
Yeah, and it's so different, like, from anything any of you have ever done. Like, being in something in this grand scale and these amazing sets and costumes. And were you kind of like pinching yourselves, especially the first time you even saw yourselves in your costumes?
Literally pinching.
Yeah, I think we were pinched. Yeah. You know, no, it's amazing.
I mean, it certainly was pretty empowering and pretty cool. I mean, I fortunately we all had such complex characters that you really didn't have a lot of time to sort of sit around and think about the grand scale of, like, you know, it's just going to be an easy day. I mean, every day, whether it was the stunt work or the really tough book scenes, you know, I mean, it was very heady, complex stuff. So you really, those ideas go out the window. It certainly just comes with this territory, because you never felt like you were compromising any of your acting choices for, like, well, it's just going to be fun because I'll be in a superhero suit. I mean, you know, these are pretty tough subjects we're dealing with.
Yeah, I want to ask about each one of you, because these are very complex characters. They're not just, you know, hey, Superman, I'm going into a booth and I'm changing and da-da-da. You know, they have some mental problems, these people. I mean, how do you wrap your head around these characters?
You just,
I know.
I mean, the nice thing is that we kind of had all the material that you know, you usually don't get as source material, as well as you know, Zack Snyder's drawings, and you know, there was so much information coming at you. So, you know, it was just kind of organizing that in your head and making it your own. But I think the nice part is that they all have, either you've been there or you've seen it or you've heard of it. You know, it's really a sort of an exploration of human nature at its worst and at its best. And I think, you know, for me, it was sort of like a stage mom, and having her push her into this world, into a career that possibly might not be her first choice, and, you know, dealing with a complicated relationship, and finding true love, and, you know, so it's real emotions and real feelings that ultimately, you know, we all are all fucked up in one way or another. So, you know, you get to explore that.
That's right.
You can say that in Canada. You can say that in Canada. It's not a problem. It's okay. Did you find that they were all real sad souls?
I don't know. I mean, you know what? One thing that I really loved about Dan in the book was how for being such a sad guy, watching all the artwork and his expression of still trying to be so earnest and trying to find his way. I mean, that's the one thing that there are some very specific lines that I really loved looking at, because you would take the line, it could be a very sad line or a very, you know, don't you think you're being paranoid? And then you look at the artwork, and the artwork is him sort of smiling, and it informs you so much of the type of guy that he is, of eternally trying to be, you know, in a really acting term, playing your opposite. And that, when you have that already built in with not only words but images, it didn't seem like it was sad, because you're all trying to get your identity back. So you don't play the sadness, and Dan being one of the saddest. I mean, you're trying to fight through it. And so when you have that clear of an arc, it's easier to play than just sort of sitting back and going, oh, he's depressed. I mean, that you can't play that.
I do think, though, that what you're picking up on is true in the sense that they are stripped down souls. They are, we see them laying bare in a way. We see sort of inside these people and all of the, I mean, certainly Sally has a lot of sadness, and you know, but also even you see these two characters who literally, you know, have a scene where they rip off their skin, and you see this sort of, you know, it's like it is about sort of going, let's excavate, let's look beneath the surface, you know, metaphorically and literally. We have these costumes, and let's see who, you know, someone's true soul is. And clearly, you know, Alan Moore and Dave Gibbons were interested in exploring a shadow, the shadow side of humanity, you know, and so and then the light that comes from that, and the light that's found by some of the characters.
Exactly. Okay, how much fun is it to kick butt?
It's fantastic.
Pretty cool.
And they do it well, right?
Yep. It was hard work, but it was, you know, once you get the hang of it, it feels pretty amazing.
Yeah,
and you kind of wish you could do it in real life.
Yeah, how much preparation has to go into something like that, especially the two of you?
Yeah, quite a bit.
It was full time.
I mean, we were there. I was there a month early. You know, we all showed up together. You know, having done sort of, you know, some other types of fighting style, but because they were so specific in the styles that we wanted. And you had trained even before that.
Yeah, I started a month before that, just physical training, because you can't hide much in that costume. So they wanted to try to build up a bit of muscle, and started training me with the next Navy SEAL, which was pretty much boot camp, which was painful, but ultimately it was exciting. And, you know, once we got to the fight training bit of it, it was just, you know, you're learning a new craft, and it's really kind of getting you into character too. It was amazing.
Yeah,
I loved
you get
it.
to fly in the freaking owl ship.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I can't believe you guys got paid to be in this movie.
I know.
Too much fun.
Yeah.
Now, why was Zack Snyder the perfect guy to direct this movie?
Well, he's a
So
huge
many
fan,
levels.
and that helps. And he had the confidence of the people around him to make his vision come to light. I mean, he's so specific and so focused on what he wanted to do. And at the end of the day, that's the kind of director that you want. That can be that visionary. You can use the term. They use it on every billboard. When you're that visionary, but have the tools to back it up. And that's, I mean, he's the most positive energy all the time that I've ever seen out of a director, every day. Every single day of shooting, and that when that's your leader, then you know you're in great hands.
Every single department was unbelievable, and he had worked with them before, and they were great collaborators, and it was really, I mean, I think one of the things that I had said very early on, you know, it became so clear, it was so unusual for a big movie like this. I was like, this is the biggest, this feels like the smallest big movie I've ever worked on. It felt like we were like working on this little sort of project that we were all very passionate about, and yet it's this huge film, and you know, it was very personal, and that's really, it's not common in this kind of movies.